Hi, I'm Dan.
And I'm James.
And welcome to the Cornwall Property Podcast, where every week we bring you the latest news, hot topics and guidance around the Cornwall property market.
Stay tuned to be informed, inspired and to have any of your property related questions answered by trusted local property professionals.
Welcome back. I'm Dan.
I'm James.
And this is the Cornwall Property Podcast, episode 57. Crikey, where have we got to here? How have we got to here? But guys, thank you very much for joining us once again. If you're a regular listener, really appreciate your support. And a couple of feedbacks we've actually had in the last couple of weeks. So thank you ever so much for taking the time to give that feedback. It is very, very much, very welcomed. And if you're a new listener, welcome. This is our Ask Dan and James episode where we've got listeners who are getting in touch with us with their property related questions.
Absolutely. You can get in touch with us by going onto our social media platforms such as Facebook and Instagram, but you can also drop us an email on podcast@cl-property.com as Dan and James are here waiting for your questions. So, without further ado, I think we'll start with our first question today, which is aimed at you, Dan, which I will read out. We have our first question, which is from Phil in Penzance, who asked the following. I've been listening to your podcast and I have an issue I hope you can help with. Let's hope so.
Get cream.
I have a number of buy-to-let properties which I bought in my name. I'm now purchasing 2 more buy-to-lets, well done you, but this time I'm purchasing these in a company name. I'm using 2 different solicitors to purchase these properties, but both solicitors have said that the mortgage companies, who are both different, have both asked me for me to get independent solicitors' legal advice and for them to also witness the signing of documents in person at the same time. I can certainly relate to this. I have called CVC, Solicitors, Coodes Penzance and Truro, DB Law, Nadlers Solicitors, and none of these will provide the service. Can you recommend a solicitor who could do this? I work in Poole and my partner works in Truro, so any solicitors around this area would be great. I can't believe that I'm the only person who is having this issue.
Brilliant.
I don't think you are.
This is actually, we got an email from Phil this week. Early this week actually, and this is when this message came in. So Phil, thank you ever so much for getting in touch. And Phil, excuse me, I spoke with Phil on the phone and just explained to Phil that we too have had this issue where obviously when you're buying, you're getting a loan from within a company. So we're getting loans to our property development company. As Phil has explained here, the mortgage companies will ask for personal guarantees and you need to have that signed and witnessed and basically read to you as well, so you fully understand the legalities of that and what you're signing by an independent solicitor, basically someone who is independent who can give you that legal advice to ensure that you understand it and you are happy. So it's not a popular service, as you can hear from Phil's frustrations. It's not a popular service. It's not very. I think he said to me on the phone, Phil said that he's been said that for the both independent legal advice certificates that he would need, he's been quoted like £4,000, some silly prices.
Wow.
Which is mad. We've had quite high, we felt prices previously, but nowhere near those sort of levels. So Phil, we have come across a company and they are actually specialists in this. This is the service they offer. So it's ILA, Independent Legal Advice. So we've got a good relationship with them now because we've used them quite a lot. So they're called ILA Law, Independent Legal Advice Law. They are a remote company. So why it's so good and what the issue is normally is that, as Phil was having, his finance company were saying that it has to be done in person. It has to be done with you physically sitting in front of them. Well, that's not quite the case. So why we have really enjoyed working with ILA Law is because we have been able to do all this remotely, and that has been a game changer because we haven't had to go trekking around Cornwall to meet solicitors to get this signed and spend a lot more extra time and money and fuel and et cetera, et cetera. It saves everyone's time. So ILA Law will do this over a video call. So they'll be sent all the documents from your purchasing solicitor that need to be obviously read through. They will understand it. They will then arrange a video call with you, sit down over a video call. We did ours on FaceTime, didn't we, individually, with ILA Law, Luke at ILA Law. And brilliant. Here then summarise exactly what you're getting yourself into, making sure you're happy and everything like that. As soon as you obviously say, yep, no worries, I fully understand, I'm happy to proceed, he will then issue a certificate to say that he has done this independent legal advice for you. That is then given to your solicitor and then they give it to the lender. So that is the process. But as I say, it's not there's not many that like to do it down here in Cornwall, but ILA Law are a company that will. So I've spoken with ILA Law off the back of Phil's great feedback and obviously our experiences, and just said, look, we'd like to obviously promote your services, and what they're going to do is give us a link which we're going to put in, we'll share with you on the next Ask Dan and James podcast, but we're going to share you a link where you could actually get a slight discount on that service if you need it in the future, guys. So that's ILA Law. Feel free to reference Dan and James and the Cornwall Property Podcast in the meantime if you need it soon. However, if you're looking and just want to bank this information and this contact, if you just hold fire, listen to the next Dan and James episode in a couple of weeks, I'll be able to give you a little bit more information and an actual personalised link that you can use to get that discount.
Another bonus with those guys as well is that not only is all of it done remotely with the the video, the actual meets, but all their paperwork, all the signing of everything is done via DocuSign as well, which I know it's not any new technology, but it's good to see solicitors actually using that, because then you don't have to then sign something in the paper, wet sign it, because they won't accept a digital copy. Then you have to send it in the post. And guess what, Cornwall's postman is on strike again, and it's another week, especially if you're trying to get something over the line. It's really, really, time is money with property. We know that. And
purchasing is a stressful process as it is anyway, so the last thing you need is all those external factors. So yeah, valid point. Yeah, so the signing and everything is all done remotely. So yeah,
easy peasy.
So Phil has been in touch and said he was really, really pleased with the recommendation. He's been over the moon and he was really, really pleased with their service. So again, Phil, thank you for obviously saying that you're happy for me to share this.
Yeah.
So
brilliant.
Second question we've had is from Tommy, who's in Helston. And Tommy said, I'm looking at doing my first property flip in Weybridge. I have found a property that is in need of a full renovation. But how do I really know what I might sell for? Agents often tell you what they want to hear. So, yeah, very valid point. James.
Absolutely. I think many of our listeners and viewers can relate to that, where agents will always tell you that it's worth 20, 30,000, even more than what it actually is, because they want to win the business. But we're quite lucky with the internet and search engines and things that we've got. The first thing that I would do is probably say, to the agent that you're looking at listing the property with, how have you come to that price? Why do you think that it should be worth 300,000 as opposed to, 280, which is what you thought it might be? The agent, if they're a good agent, will probably say to you, well, I think it's should be around about this price because these are the comparables, keyword comparables, other properties that they have sold on that particular road. So you get a good indication. And most importantly, if they're telling you that this was sold, 2 years ago when the pandemic and the massive rise in property price, that's not relevant to, today in January. So yeah, ask them to give you some comparables, but also, they're going to be a little bit biased as well because they're going to give you the best comparables that they've got on their books. But you can actually go off and do your homework anyway. So the best thing to do is use the main platform, which most people do, which is rightmove.com or co.uk, depending which one you go to. You can then go onto the property or a property that is for sale on the road that you're actually going to be selling yours on. When you click on that property, if you scroll down to the bottom, you'll actually find that there's another link there that says nearby sold properties. If you click on that link, you will then see in date order from the most recent sale all the way down to say 1995, you can see the trends in what type of property. Was it a semi-detached like yours, or was it a detached like somebody else's? And you can see 3-bed, 4-bed, 5-bed, etc. And you can find the best comparables yourself. But really, I just go on, which has sold, in the last 6 months, really, and you can kind of pinpoint, yeah, mine's a semi-detached, that's a semi-detached, it's a 3-bed, same size garden, and most of the properties that you see on Rightmove anyway have all the floor plans and you've got all the sizes, and you just do that comparable and you'll go, look, I actually really think in my head this is what it's going to be worth. So yeah, don't be persuaded by agents if they're going to give you some ridiculous sale price just to win the business. Go off and do your own research, and that's what I do. Anything to add on
them
that?
To share that they have most agents will have a back end of Rightmove access, so they will have extra accesses and extra data they can actually see that we can't as the mere layman. So by all means, ask the agents, can you please send me your comparables that you're referring to here, because then you need to see it in hard evidence and hard proof. So yeah, some great points. Yeah, hopefully that helps, Tommy.
Yeah, big time. Good luck with the sale as well.
Yeah, for sure. Well, guys, thank you ever so much for your time again. That is it for today's Ask Dan and James episode. And thank you again for Phil and Tommy for getting in touch.
Absolutely. And just a gentle reminder, you can get in touch by going on to our Facebook page, our Instagram page, or as many as you do, get in touch with us on our email address, which is podcast@cl-property.com. And we will get back to you as quickly as we can. But keep your questions coming. Without you, we wouldn't have the show. So thank you again to the listeners and viewers.
Definitely. And guys, if you are regular listeners, if you are enjoying it, please do give us a like. Please do share the podcast. The more the better the share. The breadth of which we're across the county.
Sky's the limit.
Is great, and obviously that we can start getting some guests on the web podcast as well. If there's anyone you'd like to speak to or any kind of property professional that you'd like to hear from, let us know and we'll reach out and see if we can bring them on the show for you.
That's it. Don't forget, we are here for you guys. You know, your viewers and listeners, and you make the show possible. So just let us know how we can help, because that's what we want to deliver for you. So
sure. Well, guys, that's it for today's episode. Thank you very much, and say goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me. Take care.